And we are live. Welcome back, everybody, to Beyond the Tool Belt, episode 303. I am your host, Ty Cobb-Backer, and thank you for joining us on this Wednesday edition of Beyond the Tool Belt. We will be back after our short intro from our sponsors.
GC Backer. Roofing, siding, windows, gutters, solar. Roofing, siding, windows, gutters, solar. GC Backer.
Welcome to Behind the Tool Belt, where the stories are bold, the conversations are real, and the insights come to you live, raw, and uncut. Every week, host Ty Cobb-Backer sits down to bring you the stories, the struggles, the lessons learned, and the wins. No filters, no scripts, just the truth. Please welcome your host of Behind the Tool Belt, Ty Cobb-Backer.
Hey. What do you say? Remember Fat Albert?
Yep.
Hey. That's right. We're back. We're live, we're raw, and we are uncut to talk about the wins, the struggles, the strains, the pains, the growth, the wins, and the successes. Love this podcast. It's become a platform for us to promote charity events and for me to talk about my personal development, my journey, where I'm at. Usually, for those of you that know me, know us, know that we try to keep it authentic as hell. Try not to pull any punches, speak the raw truth. And usually a lot of it's just my experience of trials, tribulations, ebbs, flows, all that good stuff. But before we get started here, I want to plug the golf outing real quick. Myself, Rocket, Glenn, and John got to participate in Steven Spence's Swing for Recovery last Monday down in Baltimore. And what a joy, what a treat to have the opportunity to participate in such an amazing event that Steven Spence has put on for 3 years now. Last year, we jumped on board with him to try to help raise some money for Roofers in Recovery. Paul Reed and Kimberly Reed of Roofers in Recovery and Hope in the Valley Treatment Facility. And this year, I think we're between both of our outings, we're gonna raise a lot of money. Surprisingly, I mean, it's amazing. And Steven has done such a wonderful job facilitating, organizing, sticking to it. Not giving up. After the first year did it, I think they raised about $2,000. Last year, I think we raised between both tournaments about $30,000. It takes 15 to send somebody to rehab. So, two lucky people, two fortunate, two blessed people are able to, attend a treatment facility, whether it be, for emotional purposes, addiction reasons, whatever the case might be. But somebody in our industry was blessed last year. We should probably find out who they were, see if they want to come on the show or something and tell us about their experience, their journey thus far, and when they went through treatment and what they're doing today, what it was like, how they got here, and what it's like now. I think that'd be good. Maybe get Steve to come on too, or Paul. Paul, we need to get Paul and Kim on the show. Shit, I forgot. We got to get those guys and gals on the show. But big shout out to Steve, man. Thank you for letting us, participate in these activities to help our industry be a better place, and have those uncomfortable conversations, giving people a place where they can have these uncomfortable conversations where maybe they didn't know where to go or who to talk to, and being able to create a space for an area for them to go to and get some shit off their chest and get some help. So there's that. And ours will be tomorrow, next Monday, Regents Glen, shotgun tea time is at 10:30. Anybody wants to come out and give us a hand or show up with a pocket full of cash, we'll have a bunch of raffles and a lot of good stuff. Our sponsors, man, not that they didn't step up last year, but they definitely, man, we just mind blowing of the support that we received this year. for us to be able to participate in that. And most importantly for locally, not even most importantly, second important thing is that we're teeing up an atmosphere of networking with businesses that don't even know that they do business with each other through us. We're the conduit. Just about everybody there, probably everybody there, somehow touches each other's businesses in one way, shape, or form through us. A lot of our friends, a lot of partners, a lot of people we do business with, a lot of people that do business with us will be attending. And a lot of worthy rivals will be there. Distribution, manufacturing, all stepped up, put all the bullshit aside. And they came out, they're showing up, suiting up and showing up and participating in such an amazing charitable, charity event like this. So anyhow, my topic for today, I thought about it. I've been thinking about those that are close to me know, what's been on the forefront of my mind and stuff. And here lately and unfortunately or fortunately, they get to go through the seasons with me, especially my close loved ones, and they know I'm a nut job, and I think they love me for it. And they know I'm a neurotic mess. And I honestly believe if it wasn't for being neurotic and driven and don't know when to quit, we wouldn't be here and have the opportunity to surround myself around like-minded people that are just as crazy, just as nutty, just as neurotic as I am. Man, we can accomplish some amazing things, man. I mean, man, and the list goes on too. And it gets bigger of the amazing people, who we get the privilege to work alongside every day and our biggest fans, the Zach Fishers of the world and his whole entire family and tribe over there shouting TC Backer from the rooftops and supporting everything that we do, and the David KXs and everybody. So thank you for this. My family, Jana and Rocket and Jacob, Quinn and Mackenzie and Joel and Skylar and everybody. You guys make it worthwhile, and the support makes me just want to be a better human being in general. So anyhow, topic for today, build your own momentum. I want to talk about that a little bit. Some things that I've experienced over the years and seasons that I've gone through. And I think right now is a perfect time to kind of talk about, the economic global economy and what that can do to business owners and managers and leaders in our industry, not necessarily just owners, because everybody gets affected by leadership, poor leadership, negative leadership, energetic leadership. It can rub off, both good and bad can rub off on your teams, and not necessarily just the owner's energy. It could be, the energy of the co-leaders that are rubbing off on, people under their management. So I thought, I talk about, a time where I almost bought into the narrative, that the global economy would decide our year. Right. And I talk a lot about, not necessarily probably on the podcast here, but it's like, we've never paid much attention to the external economy. It's more about the internal economy, and getting caught up in what everybody says. It's slow, and it's like, and I think this is a really good time of year to talk about it too, because I think most salespeople in this position already set themselves up for failure because, they think we're coming into a slow period. And a lot of that has to do with their mindset, and they're already starting to pump the brakes and things like that. And really now is the time to, double down on your efforts and more follow up and stuff like that. But, I too have gotten caught up in it's slow, and, I let it get in my head, and my self-esteem dropped and activity stalled and the team felt it. And I didn't realize that I think for me, it's like, I don't want to call control, but, dictating our future, a lot of that has to do with momentum and positive energy, and somebody has to bring it. And it has to be built by somebody. Like it's not going to be given to us. Like we have to do our part. And then, because it really boils down to just mindset and positivity and habits that you form, right? Even through bad times, keep up the good habits, because all good things will come to fruition if you work hard enough for them, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. But for me, it clicked for me during that downtime where momentum just doesn't arrive. It's something, and it's not something that's handed to you. It's built daily, intentionally by me. And what if I told you the biggest threat to your business is, the big, and then this is what's crazy, because it's not the biggest threat to your business isn't, interest rates, inflation, weather, the feds. It's you, and today we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about, the internal economy, the mindset, the daily actions that determine whether your business grows or stalls. It isn't a theory, it's real talk from the middle of a slow season that almost ate my confidence alive. And I'm going to give you what I think is a good playbook that could turn things around and step by step. I'm sure I'll share a couple stories with you. That way, hopefully it'll galvanize with somebody. But what I can do is I'll try to break down how we're going to fight through, whatever global, I'm not saying you don't pay attention to it, right? But you gotta pay attention to more internally. So, I caught myself, outsourcing the momentum to the headlines, right? How I flipped the loop and rebuilt confidence. And the 7-day, I'm going to call it the 7-day momentum sprint that reignited our pipeline. Okay. And here's the thing. Anybody can do this. Even if the market's soft, things are starting to slow down. And really what I'm going to talk about is like the basics. And if you never leave the basics, you don't ever have to go back to them. Like I'm not going to share with you, a silver bullet or the secret sauce. I'm just going to share with you some basic stuff that, I did early on, and how we really need to stick to that and never leave it, even in the greatest of times. And I think that's where we start to slip. I think that's corners. That's where we stop inspecting things and we become complacent and a little too comfortable. And it's like, these things don't, like, it doesn't happen overnight. It's like a series of events that happen over time that I think eventually at some point in time catch up, and it starts messing with you. Right. It starts, I don't know, and when it starts messing with you, it starts messing with everybody else. So anyhow, the 7-day momentum sprint, and you know what, anybody in the organization, your organization can do this. So I'll be straight with you. So I've had plenty of small losses over the years, but there was one particular season that just hit a little different. And it was probably my first big one. It hurt financially, emotionally. It messed up my chi, right? It stole my energy. And I caught myself already waking up, already thinking about what was going wrong instead of what could I build for the day. And like a lot of business owners, I started doing what felt harmless at first, right? Doom scrolling headlines, reading article after articles about interest rates, inflation, seasonality, soft demand, all the reasons why things were slow. I started buying into the bullshit. And somewhere in that mess, I forgot what my real job was, right? And my real job is, and again, this goes for anybody, right? Like I got to sell myself. I have to sell our products. And I got to get busy getting busy. right? I got to fill that calendar up. I got to get out. I got to network. I got to, stay positive. I got to bring that positivity to the office every day. And if you've ever had one of those seasons where the story in your head is louder than the plans in your hands, right? And I literally felt that, right? You know exactly what I'm talking about. And, if you've ever felt like the market was deciding your destiny, right? Like you were like you were just along for the ride. I was kind of, drifting along, right? That's exactly where I was. And but something had to shift, something had to give. Okay. And here's what pulled me out of it. I'm going to share a little bit. There's two economies. Okay. And I touched on that. There's the macro economy, the global economy. That's the big picture, right? Interest rates, inflation, political cycles, all the excuses, right? All the stuff we can't control. And then there's the internal economy, your mindset, your habits, your energy. Okay. And this economy, this one is 100% in your control. 100%. I realized something important. Self-esteem is a leading indicator. Okay. And complacency, right? I feel like maybe I was asleep at the wheel, was getting complacent, was getting potentially, I don't know. I don't want to say a little soft, but my confidence dropped. Activities dropped. And when activities drop, the pipeline dries up. And when the pipeline dries up, opportunities start to disappear. And then confidence drops even further. Like it was like a vicious cycle for me. It's a brutal loop, vicious cycle that I was going through. I was living in it. I was literally living in that. So I needed to counter loop. I needed a momentum loop, like the flywheel stopped. Like I had to, Jim Collins wrote a book about the flywheel. It's good, short read. And I believe that there's a document, a PDF document in there too, that you can print out and actually work while you're reading the book. I haven't done it for a while. I might have to dig that back out. And, but I can tell you this: positivity with consistent action, early wins creates opportunities. Opportunities create confidence, right? And the team can multiply that. But that spark has to start with me. And I'm not trying to make this about me, but being at the top, shit rolls downhill. And I found myself just not as energetic, low self-esteem, all that crap. And for me, I have to learn things the hard way, right? Leadership is energy viral. We'll call it energy viral. Okay. Good and bad. I've walked into rooms, man, the energy was just off. I've walked into rooms where I was off when I walked in that room, but when I left that room, my energy was just skyrocketing, and it's the people, it's the vibe, it's the conversations, it's the attitude, it's the optimistic. The glass is half full and not half empty. And I think as human beings, just on cruise control. Just like Zach said, and I think I watch it. I see people just kind of come in, clock out, forget the purpose. Why are we here? And then you throw a couple golf tourneys in the mix. You throw a 21 turkey salute in the frying pan. Next thing you know, man, spirits are lifted back up. And we do that intentionally because I know spirits get down. I know things get tough. We never know what someone's going through in their personal life. And sometimes work should be one of the positive places people go. I would like to think so. Okay. I know it's called work. Shit's not always, tiptoeing through the tulips. Sometimes we got to trudge the road to happy destiny and pull our weight and meet our team members halfway. It's not always easy. Half the battle is just suiting up and showing up. Okay. And so if I walk in tight, discouraged, uncertain, they feel it. They mirror it. But if I walk clear, energetic, they catch that too. And that's kind of where I need to stay. And some days I know I'm not fit to be around. And I know those days I got to figure out what the hell, because usually if something's wrong with me. If I let something bother me, this usually means that it's a clear, like, outside circumstances should not dictate how I feel on the inside. If I'm having issues with the inside, it's because there's something I've done, something that I need to do. Usually I need to get off my dead ass and do something. And just like that, I stopped waiting for the momentum. And I talked to Vic about this a lot. I talked to Vic and John about this yesterday. And we needed to start manufacturing momentum. Okay. And I was talking about at the last podcast, a little bit about brand and personal brand and company brand. And the company brand should just about be every salesperson's start of their personal brand. I would think so. Let's talk about something that gets overlooked, and that's personal brand, and especially during slow seasons. How important is the brand? Because brand should radiate trust, and trust, obviously, going through do I know them? Do I like them? Do I trust them? Because that's who people do business with. So brand isn't your logo. It's not your colors. Brand is your reputation at scale, essentially. Okay. It's the answer to the 3 simple questions every buyer asks. Do I like you? Do I know you? Do I trust you? Okay. And the truth is that it isn't built by just posting on social media. It's earned by delivering. Okay. It's earned by delivering, suiting up, showing up, communicating well. And I'll give you just a small synopsis, a little example of, where we had a job where everything went good. Everything went right. Clear communication, on time, and one little extra surprise that delighted the homeowner at the end of it. Okay. And that can be anything. That could be you get it done a day early. We didn't have to replace all the plywood, so we're giving you some of the money back. Whatever little delight at the end that you can give to a homeowner. And if you can do that, then next thing you know, right, 2 weeks later, we're not chasing leads. And why is that? Because everything went smooth. The neighbor called us, then their cousin called us. That isn't luck. Okay, when that happens. All right. That's what trust is. That's what trust is. Trust then is doing the heavy lifting. Okay. Trust is huge. Trust is huge. Okay. Your brand can become a magnet if you build it deliberately. Okay. Referrals should be the standard. A lot of us hope for just referrals to just start coming in and the phone rings, but it takes a good team to actually be asking for referrals. That should just be the standard all day, every day. Okay. It needs to be a habit. Okay. We have to turn asking for referrals into a habit. And I came up with 3 simple moves. Okay. Create referable moments. Okay. How do you do that? I just explained it a little bit, right? That means clear communication, on-time delivery, and one surprise that delights the client or the homeowner. Okay. Number 2, capture proof. Okay. Ask for the reviews. Okay. That's another thing that I know a business owner, a manager just wishes that their team would do. But I'm telling you, if you do this framework, okay, especially during down times when everybody else is backing off, okay, ask for the reviews, get testimonials, ask for permission to share the outcome of the project with the homeowner. Okay. Make it easy. Make it easy for them to say yes. Okay. Now, if we're out there and it's like, we keep rescheduling the job. And then when we get out there, we're short materials. And then we get out there and it's all these problems. There's nails all over the place and all this stuff. That's not making it easy. Okay. That makes it even more difficult for us to ask for it. But that's key because that's 90% of the battle. Nobody's asking for it. Okay. So the key part is to ask for it. Okay. And you don't just say, hey, If you know anyone, no. You simply ask, if you were me, okay, who is one person, okay, I should talk to? Be specific, be natural, make it easy to answer, okay? And by asking it that way, who's one person I should talk to if you were me? And if the job went well, if the production team cashed that check that your ass wrote when you first showed up at their doorstep, it should be easy. You should be able to capture proof. You should be creating a referable moment. But if you're not asking, you're not going to get any of that. And this is what's crazy. One referral can cover payroll. One referral, okay? One warm intro can change an entire month, not just for the sales rep, but for the entire company. And I think that's half the problem too with the sales reps. They're out for themselves. They don't understand how important it is for them to do a good job so everybody else at the table can eat. Okay, from production to administrative to the finance department to the guys that are out busting their ass to market the business to make that phone ring. Right? Like we're back here busting our ass to make the phone ring. Now it's time for you to go out and make a freaking referable moment. The rest of the team needs to cash that check that the marketing department, okay, has so diligently prepared, teed up, okay, for that phone to ring, for that said salesperson to go out there and offer value, right? I mean, really, it's that simple. Okay. If you can operationalize this every single day, okay, your past clients become your biggest promoters. Okay. I've seen it. I've done it. When I was out in the field, when I installed shingles, when I sold the jobs, okay, your promoters will fill your pipeline. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. Okay. Now let's be honest. When business gets busy, that's when corners get cut. Okay. I've watched it. I saw it. I've seen it. I've experienced it. I've been a part of it. The complacency, the comfortability, the corners get caught. We stop inspecting. People stop expecting. Whether it's the dirty ass truck to the oil change to not caulking the end caps on gutters. If we're not inspecting jobs, if we're not inspecting vehicles, if we're not following up with our teammates, and I don't even want to say holding them accountable, but just holding the standard, right? Things can get out of control. Those little things turn out to be very costly at the end. Okay. And for us, it showed up. It showed up loud and clear. We were so focused on the volume that inspection slipped. Quality started eroding in little ways, right? That those little things ended up costing us big over time. So how are we going to fix this? One simple habit. And I talked to Jeremy Bender the other day about this, and a weekly quality audit. Every week we pick one job site. Okay. We inspect it against the checklist. We close the gaps and we document the fix. Okay. Scorecard, right? Because quality, reviews, referrals fills the pipeline. It's cause and effect. It's not luck. It's not luck. That's just organically what happens. Okay. But it's a lot of responsibility. It's a lot of work. And that's how we end up outworking everybody, because we cross those T's, we dot those I's, and we inspect. We inspect everything. We inspect how the sale was made. Did they miss anything? Did they get the color selection sheet signed? Because that's where some of the chaos begins, when it hands off to operations and then over to production, and production gets out there and it's like, there's no pictures. What area am I doing? It's like, and then that creates complete chaos. And then that ripple effect affects the client. It just ends up being a complete freaking nightmare. Been there, did it. Okay. Here's the facts. When margins are compressed, we can't panic. Okay. There's been many times over the years where I wanted to hit the panic button. Sad reality of it is nobody's coming to save us. Nobody. Okay. You increase volume without lowering the standards. Okay. And you do it through daily rhythm, not random hustle. And I've been there too. I'm working on the wrong things. I'm just hustling, grinding, not getting anything done. And I can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. But here's the new standard. And I hope a lot of our team's listening right now. Okay. The new standard is on the sales side of things, on the retail side of things, and even in the new construction side of things. Some of this will apply there too. But I'm going to call it the 10 touches a day. Okay. 4 past clients, 3 current clients, and 3 prospects. Okay. If we're not following up, okay, with past clients asking for referrals, if we're not reaching out to 3 current clients and or following up with 3 prospects, 10 touches there. Okay. 1 referral ask a day. Okay. 1 brand post, teaching something, showing something, or shared win. 1 quality audit a day. Okay. And 1 45 to 60 minute pipeline block. I'm calling it a block, like blocking out time on your calendar. Okay. No Slack, no meetings, no distractions, just outreach and offers. Okay. If you got 3 in your bucket and you haven't closed the deal yet, call them, follow up with them, email them, and offer them something. What are we offering? Okay. Has something changed? Has materials gone up? Has materials gone down? Can we give them something free? What can we do to help facilitate your decision-making to go with us? Okay. Again, that is a huge problem. Nobody's following up with anybody. Okay. Past clients, current clients, future prospects, whatever the case might be. Okay. Follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up. Okay. Big time, 40 to 60 minutes a week. You cannot tell me we don't have people on our sales team that don't have 40 to 60 minutes a week or a day, a day. Do that for a week and the math will change. Activity creates opportunity. Opportunity creates options, and options rebuilds confidence. Okay. If your calendar doesn't show pipeline time block, don't expect your bank account to change either. Basically, that's the bottom line. Believe me, I think I'm getting a sore throat. That sucks. I hope not. Of course, we did golf in the rain on Monday. So anyhow, let me show you how simple this can be. Okay. I'm going to break it down Monday through Friday. Okay. Doesn't have to be this exact way, but just I went back through and I started thinking about things that I used to do, things that I wish were happening, things that I've tried in the past. But let's use Monday for an example. Called 4 past clients, right? 1 said, okay, this just happened to me 2 weeks ago. No exaggeration. Sorry, somebody keeps calling me here. I call them. They said to me, funny timing. My friend needs this. They didn't need it, but their friend needed it. Okay. That single warm intro covered 1 week's payroll. Just random. Called 4 clients. Okay. 1 of them, 3, 4, 1 out of the 4 said, because timing is everything. I mean, it really, truly, really, truly is. Okay. Tuesdays, quality audit. Found a handoff gap. Okay. We have a weekly meeting where we talk and stuff like that. We build a checklist and prevented future mistakes. Wednesday, 1 brand post sparked DMs. DMs started coming in. How many times have we posted on social media, especially down south, that the DM box, something fresh, something new, something that caught somebody's eye, and they're tagging other people's names in there. The issue with that is that's great, but if no one's monitoring that and no one's paying attention, because so many people in those, if you look at the comments in any post, especially if it's a paid ad, there's so many people in there asking questions. Do you guys cover this area? Do you guys do windows? Do you guys do this? Or they'll tag an individual's name in there. That's great. You're getting people to notice you, but if you don't have anybody following up with that, then we're the problem. We're the issue. That's the problem right there in itself. Okay. Thursday, a referral ask turns into a meeting. Okay. Friday, we built a roof, asked for the view, shared the wins with the team. No magic, no secret sauce, just rhythm. So Monday through Friday, look at your calendar. Okay. Mondays, call clients, past clients, previous clients, soon to be prospects, whatever the case might be. Tuesday, we need to do better quality, checks on the job sites. Wednesday, a brand post. Anybody can do that. Anybody can do that in the organization. Okay. Thursdays, ask for a referral. Call up 10 past clients. And I'm saying, if you haven't been doing this, okay, once you get into a rhythm after each job is closed out, then you should go right into the trifecta. Okay. It's the referrals, the reviews, and repeat clients. You should go right into the trifecta. Like, you shouldn't have a pipeline of referrals you should be asking for. Hopefully you do have some, so you have a place to start. Okay. But everybody should be calling their past, previous, current clients and asking for a review and referrals. If you were me, who would you recommend? Okay. No magic, no secret sauce, just rhythm. Once you get into that rhythm, and stop being such a fucking lead baby. Stop waiting for the momentum to happen and create your own momentum. And that's the problem. Everybody's just waiting around for a momentum magic wand to just smack them over the fucking head. And it's not going to happen. Okay. It's never going to happen. We got to go out and build our own momentum. Okay. So here's what I've learned watching my team during the season. Okay. My low self-esteem wasn't just in my head. It was in our numbers. I saw our numbers, drop. Okay. Because my momentum, my courage, my self-esteem, all that stuff was in the shitter. Okay. People don't need a cheerleader. I do know that. But what they need is a thermostat. Ed Milet talks about a thermostat. Your job, my job, okay, is to set the thermostat and hold it there. Okay. It's hard. It's crucial. It's nerve-wracking, but I need to stay calm. I need to stay focused and be urgent about the right things is what I'm learning here. Can't just hit the panic button just over any little situation. It's also called leadership equity. If I'm barking at every single thing, then it just tends to fall on deaf ear. So anyhow, yes, other people in your organization can spread positivity. Okay. And that's important. That's important. Okay. But it starts with you. It starts with me. All right. Nobody hands you momentum. We have to create it. And here's the exact sprint. I'm going to call it a 7-day momentum sprint that I'd also like to share with anybody. If anybody wants a PDF of this, I'll have Vic put it in the comments or DM me. DM me the word momentum and I will send you a PDF of a 7-day sprint. Copy it, steal it, make it your own. I have 2 shits. Okay. But I'm going to pretty much review what I just went over. It's the 10-day, 10 touches a day, 1 referral ask a day, 1 brand post a day, 1 quality audit a day, pipeline block. That's that 45-minute to 60-minute. Share a win, 2 minutes, 1 win, 1 lesson shared with your team. Do this for 1 week and you will feel the momentum come back. Not because the economy changed, but because I did. And I'll share that with anybody. Anybody that wants that, DM me momentum and I'll share that with you guys. Okay. Now, I'm not saying ignore the market. Okay. I'm not saying that whatsoever. Okay. Just adjust to it. Tighten your offers up. Okay. Improve your services. Price things intelligently. Okay. But never outsource your results to the headlines. Don't get caught up in the bullshit. Stop watching TV. Okay. Your pipeline doesn't read the news. Okay. Pipeline doesn't read it. All right. So get your head out of the clouds. All right. Your clients don't care about inflation charts. Okay. They care about whether you can deliver value right now. Okay. We all know it's become an Amazon world. I mean, it truly has become an Amazon world today. Okay. And these are things, this is my experience. I'm sharing my experiences. I'm sharing the standard that we're going to hold here at TC Backer Construction. And again, that's what's so groovy about us doing a podcast, because our team gets to listen to this stuff. Okay. We get to impact, other local contractors, globally. My experience, strength, and hope. I almost fell for the macro trap. You know what I mean? I almost fell for it. And, through pain comes growth. And I know that I was seeking, like that next level, that next gear. And I'll be honest with you, it's like I'm so fixated on like getting rest, working out, eating right. And it was like the one thing that was slacking in my life. I'm not afraid to say this on on the podcast here, but it was where I feel like I was really struggling was with my spirituality. You know what I mean? Like I put everything else in front of it and kind of started to feel like I was in a whole entire room filled with people, but I was standing there all by myself. I don't know if anybody can relate to that, but when you can walk into a room filled with people, but still feel alone, and then really I wasn't. I wasn't. It was the only thing that was wrong was the 6 inches between my ears at the time. And it dragged us all down. It wasn't just me. It was dragging us down. And it's probably not as big as I portrayed in my head, but it was enough pain for me to get off my dead ass and do something about it. And we are today. You're right. And we can change this. Anybody can do exactly what I'm talking about right now. And God forbid somebody needs somebody to talk to, I'm always available. I talk to people all the time, but we can control our internal economy built by trust, create a trust engine, inspecting our craft, inspecting our jobs. Okay. Momentum isn't given. It's not given. Nobody's going to give it to us. We have to build it. It's built. It's built by our team. It's built by me, and it starts up top, and shit rolls downhill. And I understand that. And I need good co-leaders with to spread that inspiration and that positivity. And when I'm down, hopefully they can lift me up like they have. And I think I'm just about done. If this episode has helped anybody, how much? 42 minutes, plenty of time. Okay. So anyhow, you got to build your own momentum. Okay. If this episode helped you, share it with somebody that you feel that has been frozen by the market or outside conditions that they allow to affect their insides, and DM me. Okay. DM me the word momentum. Okay. I'll send you the 7-day sprint checklist. You just need to build your own. We'll see you next time.